Hello there, folks. We would have been on a lot sooner, but technicality issues at one end. We'll leave it at that. We're gonna have a very chilled and laid-back vibe this evening because this is one of the very few times SKL gets to be at its old time of 9 p.m. in the UK, which also means that, I'm on downtime, which is always fun. I think I want to just get this little thing out of the way. WrestleMania, from what I'm hearing, because the WWE Undisputed title match was not the main event they were expecting.
No. For me, I didn't watch much of Mania. The only thing I watched was the women's triple threat between Bianca, Rhea, and Io.
I heard that was
I was
really
very
good.
surprised that Io I was really surprised that Io retained, and as always, Bianca gives 100%, 110% with her entrances and her performances, because she's listen, man. There's once in a lifetime talents, and for me, Bianca Belair is one of them. You came in at the right time, and look, despite what I think about like WWE in general, they have treated her well when it comes to like mania matches.
Oh, absolutely.
Like I'll never forget. Was it WrestleMania 37 in 2021 when for a minute crowds were allowed to come back? That night one main event she had with Mercedes / Sasha Banks. That match was generational. And the next Mania she had with Becky, like her that marching band entrance, top tier. And they did the right thing of putting her over. So yeah, I mean her undefeated streak is her undefeated streak now is like it's 6-4, I believe. But if anything, I feel like she can always bounce back. And I do follow her on IG, and she is just a delight. Her and her husband Montez Ford. Those two screams couple goals. But yeah, like I said, only watched one match. But from what I've heard, yeah, I've heard some matches were okay, but like I didn't think it was better than the last couple Manias they did. Yeah, I did hear the main event was
And people are ragging on the way Cena's heel persona has been portrayed. I think he's actually doing a reasonably good job. I mean, some will say, oh look, it's Cena and Orton again. It's like, it's his last year. We're not going to see this again after December.
Also, it's a different take. That Cena's now heel and Orton's face, so that's a pretty interesting dynamic.
Also,
the one thing I didn't want is reminiscing watching the feud, the old feud, because for me it gives me very bad PTSD.
Also, I never thought I would hear these words come out of Cena's mouth. How dare you parent shame me? I'm like, pardon?
I can't lie. Just seeing his promos make me laugh, because like it was the golden child for so long, so it's like might as well just go out with a bang. Instead of going out with a bang, off topic, I did see the trailer of him and Idris Elba to get together in this one movie that's coming to Amazon Prime.
Nice.
Hilarious.
It should be. Because here's the thing. This is one of the annoying things about kayfabe being gone. It's he doesn't really stay in character when, he's going from hotels to movie sets, because he goes and does the meet and greets after WrestleMania, and he's posing for people, shaking hands. I'm like, John, that's not very heel-ish. That's, I gather that these things are kind of set up in advance, but at the same time, you look and think, Hugo, now, he said that wrestling retirements these days are not real because a lot of them come back for the paycheck. I mean, look at Shawn Michaels at Crown Jewel in a tag match with Triple H against Brothers of Destruction. Now, people say he went back on his word. I said this on Twitter at the time, and I said, if you were offered $10 million for a tag team match, look me in the eye and say you wouldn't turn that down. And here's the thing with Shawn, he's not good with money.
No, he ain't.
It's probably one of the reasons why he came out of retirement in 2002 originally, because, well, to be fair, the 4 years that he had away from the ring, I mean, yeah, he had his spine surgically repaired, and he proved, even though there was a limitation, if anything, his performance was superior because, alright, he's a little wiser, he knows what he can and can't do, but when
he's not a full-blown prick.
No,
just saying.
Yeah, Born Again, Shawn Michaels was probably one of the most egotistical people in the locker room, and that's before Vince McMahon. Also, it was fitting that he would be the one to induct Triple H into the Hall of Fame. Although, to be fair, I'd have been fine with it if it had been Taker, because Trips has said that Taker, there's nobody he respects more in the business. But my gosh, his Hall of Fame speech went on for ages.
I heard.
I think it went on for an hour.
Oh, funny enough, I heard Michelle. I think I saw the end of Michelle McCool's speech. Yo, I saw Bianca. I was like, yeah. Let's just go. Because I did hear it was late. There was late-ish, and the people there were just tired. Yeah.
This is just me saying it like it is. Not trying to be disrespectful. I find it interesting for Michelle McCool to be a devotee Christian, yet she was wearing the dress she was wearing. I'm like,
oh really?
Was wearing. I'm like, it's like, I'm not. I know it sounds like I'm coming across as judging, and that's not the pretense that I want it to be viewed in. But if you're being seen as being dedicated to your faith, one would think you would dress more modestly. I'm just saying.
There's too many instances of that.
Yeah, because I don't know. I mean, with McCool, I'm surprised she hadn't been put in the Hall of Fame sooner, because she was deserving of it.
Yeah.
And it's interesting how the Divas title was originally meant for Tori Wilson, because, and I've said this for the longest time, the fact that Tori Wilson was never a champion in WWE is a travesty, because, alright, she was no Trish Stratus, she was no Molly Holly, she was no Mickie James, but damn it, she could put on a good match if she wanted to.
Mm-hmm.
She had the athleticism.
Even if it was for entertainment purposes. Excuse me.
Yes. And here's the thing. I think if they could just let her natural charisma come through more, and obviously not have her partaking in so many bikini contests or body challenge like the contest at Judgment Day 2003. That would not happen today. No. Oh, hey, Sean. Sorry it's a late one this week, dude, but, you know, when I'm on time off, I get to have fun. But I once said Tori Wilson was one of the most boring talents that they had, not because of her, but because of what they had her do. It's just like, you see other divas at the time, like Trish, Molly, Victoria, and what have you, and they're being fed decent material, but Tori, it's like, you could tell she was yearning just to be accepted, like a Jackie, like a Lita, like Trish, and creative are like, go out there and shake your ass out there in a bikini. For what it was at the time, you know, it was late 90s, early 2000s WWE. It was what it was. Wouldn't happen today. I don't know. Mind you, there's a whole bunch of stuff that they wouldn't do now. Like, there was a contest on SmackDown where I forget the whole gist of it. I know that the King was hosting. It's like, that tells me everything I need to know. But it just involved, at one stage, Tori going around on all fours in the ring, and I'm like, yeah, I can understand why YouTube had this taken down, because this showed up on the Daily Mail's website of all places, and I'm like, okay. I don't know. You know, if she hadn't had that back injury in 2006, you know, she would have not necessarily been a shoo-in, but she would have been worthy of being the first champion. But
yeah,
it is what it is. It still annoys me to this day that Stacy never had a run as women's champion, but she actually did say in an interview, quite modestly and quite humbly, I don't have the talent like the other girls do, so therefore they're more worthy of having this belt and not me. And I'm like, okay, I get that. She's recognizing that she doesn't quite have the same skill set, but she's another one. If they had just trained her, she could have put on a good match. And the thing I liked about Stacy, especially when she was a face, one of the sweetest personalities you could ever see on TV. She was, you know, I know this is like a quaint word, but she was lovely. You know, very sweet, very, very approachable. And then you get characters like Nydia. Oh boy. The stuff with her and Jamie Noble. I don't know. Mind you, I did see the main event from night 1 of WrestleMania. Paul Heyman with Seth Rollins. Wasn't expecting that.
I had an inkling of it, but I'm like, all right. And then the night after, he gets recruited. Ron Breakker gets recruited,
Yeah,
I'm like, for
I don't-
me, because I liked Ron Breaker.
he was doing well as Intercontinental Champion until they gave it to Dom.
Yeah.
Yeah, less
sure.
said
Well,
about that, the better.
I pretend that. Okay. I like Dom as a person, but as a wrestler,
I know, right?
he's okay. But like, it is what it is.
Pardon me.
Lord knows they weren't going to give it to. Lord knows they weren't going to give it to. Lord knows they weren't going to give it to Finn, because I'm just going to say it. He's washed.
Well,
And it's sad for me to say, because I feel like after the injury he had, becoming the first ever Universal Champion, he hasn't been the same since.
no.
I mean, yeah, he adopted the new persona as the Prince, because back then he was known as the real rock and roller at New Japan, and he had what the kids say, aura. So I don't know. Even before he hit main roster, I feel like he should have been in the NXT dojo for a while now. Should have like let him flourish, you know.
He did all right,
especially with
NXT.
his yeah.
Also, speaking of the Universal title, WWE has officially announced that the Universal belt is retired. Thank the sweet Lord above.
Oh yeah, the fruit roll-up belt.
Yep, because not being funny, when it was unified with the WWE title and then Trips presenting the new updated belt to Roman after 1,000 days as champion, and they were still referring to it as the undisputed Universal WWE title. It's just call it the undisputed title. Have done with it, because nobody cares about the Universal belt. Because I did have an inkling when they introduced the World Heavyweight titles, technically we have 3 world titles on the main roster. It's just that the Universal belt is like a splinter title, in the same way when they fused the World Heavyweight belt with the WWE title, but then eventually just retired the big gold belt, which, by the way, they should have just brought that belt back when they brought in the world title, and not just have the big gold template but with the WWE logo smack dab right in the middle.
If it was up to me, I would have had the wing. I would have modernized and bring back the winged eagle design.
Absolutely. They did it for
yeah.
one night only at Saturday night's main event between Kevin Owens and Cody, but that was just like a one-time deal.
Yeah.
And did you notice they actually put the
Like I said,
Did you actually notice they put the WWE logo on that belt?
really? They engrave it or just like stick it on there?
I think they actually engraved it because it did look like a new cut.
They got all right. Here's my thing. And I doubt they listen, but like,
Of course they
if
would.
you're gonna do titles, just modernize old belts. Like it's like what they did with the SmackDown tag belts. I feel like
Yes.
they look good. You know?
I mean, look at Raw's
I just feel like
World Tag Team titles. They're just like copy pasta of the World Heavyweight belt. And it's like, that's lazy.
yeah, I don't like that. I feel like ever since 2013, man, their world titles is just not. It's just so plain looking. You know?
For me, bring.
I mean, say what you will about this. I mean, say what you will about the Spirit Belt, but at least that looked okay. But
Yes.
it just didn't look good with people outside of Cena.
No. I mean, it'd be like. Let's think of an example. It'd have been like if Val Venus had become WWF champion and he had the Smoking Skull belt. Be like, what? And by the way, with regards to customize,
The smoke.
go on.
Oh, go ahead. My bad.
With regards to customized belts, I've yet to see anything top the Smoking Skull belt.
Yeah. Oh, if anything, Smoking Skull belts would look good with some people. Like, for example, like, think of if CM Punk entered the WWE back in the Attitude Era. He would have looked good. He would have looked good. He would have looked good with it. I mean, it depends what will look for some people.
And of course, the funny story is, when Stone Cold first showed up with the Smoking Skull belt, he didn't tell anybody he was bringing that belt to TV, so McMahon's reaction on Raw that time was genuine. But it's only when they noticed how popular it was and then put it on what was their equivalent of Shop Zone at the time and noticed they were selling a bulk load. It's like, I like this belt now. Yes, of course you do. The only thing that would be greater if it was my face on the belt. No. That'd be like having L-Man masks for Halloween. Oh, and there goes Nightmare Fuel.
Oh no.
It's like I say, there's regular dark, and then there's L-Man dark.
Yeah.
Mind you, speaking of like Halloween stuff, I've noticed over the years they don't really do anything Halloween-esque stuff anymore. I mean, Raw in 2011, the only thing that was close to Halloween was when they had the Muppets as the guest GMs for that week, and I'm just like, ugh.
I mean, Halloween specials are still a thing. Like, for me, I'll never forget Celebrity Deathmatch's Halloween special when they had The Undertaker in it.
I'm glad you brought Taker up. Imagine, like, for argument's sake, they have like a battle royale where in the ring you have a werewolf, a vampire, a mummy, and various other, Hollywood monsters. And Taker just happens to walk by. They all start to go, "Hey, Taker, hey," and then they all just go back to what they're doing. It's like,
yeah,
just for no reason.
Yeah.
Raw weren't too bad this week, although Orton kind of pulled an Undertaker by literally showing up out of nowhere. The difference is the lights didn't go out for it, which is actually kind of refreshing. But, Orton is kind of overdue another title run, considering he hasn't had one since 21. But to be fair, injuries are the B word. And also,
and he's on the gas.
Oh really?
Yeah. Him and AJ.
Because I did hear for WrestleMania, apparently he was announced at his weight as being 290 pounds. And I'm like, Randy, you were never that heavy.
Yeah.
I know Stone Cold bulked up to 285 when he was getting himself back in physical shape for his return in 03, but then they had to cardio him down back to 252. Although it's essentially, if Stone Cold went to Ascended Saiyan, because I do remember going back to look back at those clips. Whenever Trunks or Vegeta went up to that mode, they were just too bulky, which is when you get Super Saiyan 2. It's the strength of an Ascended Saiyan, but without losing the speed. I don't know. I know you said you wanted to talk about Sinners, so, sir, you have the center stage.
Yeah, man. Sinners. I finally saw it yesterday, and let me tell you guys, the theater I was at was packed. For me, it hasn't been theater hasn't have been packed like this since the Sonic the Hedgehog movies.
Damn.
From Sonic the Hedgehog 2, Sonic the Hedgehog 3. Yeah, like half the black community and some interracial couples, like, you know, showed up for it. And yeah, I don't know what to say, but check it out. It was really well done. It was shot well. Like, Ryan Coogler knows how to shoot a movie. You know, it's he did his thing, man. That's all I'll say. Michael B. Jordan in this dual role, he was like, you could tell that he was playing two different people. I mean, personally, my favorite was Stack, but like, I don't know, he really distinguished himself from doing everything. And let me tell you about the actor known as Miles Kato. This was his first role, and it looks like he was doing films all his life. You know, I think he has a really bright future.
Nice.
You know what I mean? And last but certainly not least, Haley Steinfeld. How you doing?
Really?
Woo! Oh my. Anytime when she was on screen, I could not, you know, take my eyes off of her. You know what I mean? She really embodied that role. It was something that I haven't seen in so long. You know? I think even in minor spoilers. If you've seen it, you've seen it. When she does the thing of, we could have killed every last one of you. That did something to me.
Well, that's interesting. So,
yeah,
this was essentially a vampire flick.
Pretty much is.
Interesting. I may just have to check this out.
Yeah. Honestly, if it was up to me, I would give Ryan Coogler all the reign of doing a Blade movie.
Really?
Yeah, it was really well done. The way he wrote the vampires was just like, wow.
Okay. Yep. I'ma definitely have to check that out, because the impression that I got, seeing from trailers and commercials, it was more about demons and possessions. But the fact that, you know, I'm just having a quick read through the wiki article, is like, this is a vampire movie. I'm like, hello, you've suddenly captured my interest. Folks, little known fact, ever since Rosaria Vampire, Vampire in the Garden, and Call of the Night, lady vampires are my thing. Just saying. Especially the cute ones that are sweet, friendly, and then there's Nazuna, who is an absolute lovable troll, but at her core, she's alright. Until she starts dropping innuendos about as quick as Steve would drop puns. And the man could drop a few. But as you're probably aware, folks, Steve's not present this evening. He's actually attending a video game music concert, which features some of the material from God of War. So we're hoping Steve is enjoying it this evening, because this is something he's very passionate about. And yeah, can't really add anything further to that. As ever, we're still on the lookout for new potential co-hosts, because we're looking to bring in new people, because as people will probably gather, and I will be as brief and discreet as I can about this. Some members have left. We wish them well. But the show must go on. And yeah, ideally, we'd like there to be another female co-host, just so that, you know, we've got some variety and what have you. You know, and that's always fun. Movie-wise this summer, other than Sinners being the unexpected, I don't want to say sleeper hit, because that could come across as a little bit insulting, but the movie I was not expecting to be doing so well. When you look at the summer roster, you've only got Fantastic Four: First Steps, the new Superman movie, and Jurassic Park 7. I know they're calling it Jurassic World Rebirth, folks. If you had to pick a choice of which one you're gonna, you know, stick with, are you gonna say Jurassic World, or are you gonna say Jurassic Park? Because I know where my allegiance is. Because, and I'm just gonna say this right here, Jurassic World, on its own merits, it's an okay movie. I thought it was amazing at the time. 10 years later, it's okay. Fallen Kingdom, oh boy. As I've said in the retrospectives, there are pieces that I like, but it's a beautiful mess. Dominion. Because of my retrospective 2 years ago, Raiden lost his damn mind. Watching it, I was like, what the hell did I just hear?
Yeah.
I think that's... They say Colin Trevorrow's direction worked on paper for Jurassic World, but I just think they just needed somebody that had the mind of a younger Spielberg, somebody that could get it and actually take the vision forward. Because the biggest problem that the Jurassic World trilogy had was it was basically a dumb Hollywood action movie trilogy. Basically, the only thing that would have been missing is if you had a bunch of Megan Fox clones with their, you know, with their asses hanging out, and that would have pretty much made it like, what if Michael Bay got his hands on Jurassic Park? Sweet Lord, I hope that man never gets his hands on that, because, come on, we gotta have some things that are sacred.
Yeah.
I mean, that'd be like... Think of a good comparison that you could probably relate to. That'd be like, what if they got a biopic of Snoop Dogg that was directed by Andy Dick and starring Chris Rock? You see how that would just fall apart on itself?
Yeah.
I mean, Chris Rock could probably play a very alternative version of Snoop, but Snoop, when he's normally talking, or the way he's acted out in his movies, when he's not rapping,
What kind of using?
you know, he's very chill.
Yeah.
But
Yes.
I don't know.
That changed again?
You keep hacking my ass, man.
Hey, ain't done it that.
Sorry. Pick up picture this one.
Okay, hold
You want to end in 19? No, this one is 92. Pick up picture.
Okay, hold on.
Apologies, folks.
Okay, I got it. Sorry about that. Had some things to take care of.
No, that's cool.
Oh, you were saying about Snoop Dogg?
Yeah, it's like the thing with Snoop. If they were playing like an Elseworlds type of story that if Chris Rock was playing that, it's like that'd be one thing. But Snoop, when he's talking normally, he's very chilled and laid back. When he's rapping, the man's a stone cold savage. But
Yeah.
then again, this is a reason why he's one of the GOATs.
Yeah.
Although that said, it wouldn't surprise me if at some stage they get Michael B. Jordan to do a biopic of a musical great, because we know the man has it in him to do it.
I could see him doing it. I mean, I just think like the guy for me has been on his A game for so long. You know, he's just every role he's been doing. What was that from Fan Four Stick? And even some movies he's done, it's like hasn't really talked about, but honestly, where he puts his mind to it, he can deliver. He can deliver a great performance.
I know what would be a dream project for him. What if he got to do a live action movie that was inspired by DBZ? You know.
Oh, yeah, or Naruto. That's like his main favorite.
I mean, he'd have
Even I saw that during his directorial debut with Creed.
because he just has this natural authenticity in his performances. Even as Johnny Storm, you bought it. You know, you got it because he wanted to try and actually bring something to the table. You know, as bad as Fan Four Stick was, and it literally was, it was a train wreck. He at the very least was trying. And it's the same thing with Black Panther. As Killmonger, amazing.
Yeah.
Because he just has this very slick way of talking. It's very smooth. There's a confidence in his tone. And even as Creed, you know, he was so confident that he was going to get Rocky to train him, and Rocky did train him. And I did like that the ending piece where even though Rocky's going through chemo, he got him to get up the steps up to the Philadelphia Library. And, you know, just how most Rocky movies had done in the past, where they get to the top of there. Normally with Rocky, he's jogging up there, but because he now has limitations, just to see him get up there and Creed acting like, you know, the motivator, or say, no, you're gonna get up there, man. You're gonna do it. I felt like, would I be right in saying that Rocky was like a good father-like figure to Creed, or was it just more like a good mentor figure?
I would say both.
Yeah, because we all know what happened to Apollo Creed in Rocky IV, sadly. Because, I'm sorry.
I mean, if honestly, if it was up to me, I would not have Apollo Creed die, especially after how much the last movie, him and Rocky had that bond.
Yeah.
I would just have him be paralyzed. Be paralyzed. And if anything, if you're gonna kill him off, like probably kill him off like off
camera.
Off camera.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would have worked.
Because then what happened? Apollo's trainer ended up becoming Rocky's trainer for Rocky VI, and to be fair, when he clicked his neck, when he just shakes his head from side to side, I'm like, ow, I felt that. Mind you, most of us were pleased with Rocky VI because it was a giant apology for Rocky V. Ugh.
Even when, because I actually remember watching a video of how Sylvester Stallone ranks the movies. When they went to Rocky V, I was like, eh. And he does talk about Rocky Balboa, like I wanted to do something different. Thank you. Anyway, because when he wanted to do Rocky Balboa, it's like, okay, I want to do a giant apology for Rocky V.
And we giantly
accepted
it.
In a sense. Now, if anything, Rocky V in the beginning had a great concept, but I feel like when the movie went on, it just, I don't know what happened.
Trouble is, some sequels work, some don't. That's pretty much all there is to it. I mean, we all thought the Thunderbirds movie would work in 2004. Oh boy, how wrong we were. Because that...
Dude, even when I wasn't a big Thunderbirds guy, because I remember I watched a little bit of Thunderbirds back then before Paramount Network, it was, before Paramount Network, it was Tech TV, and aside from other stuff that they showed Thunderbirds. Like, ooh, this is cool. I like the puppetry. I like how they did things. And then when I saw a little bit of the movie, I was like, yikes, this is definitely not nothing about this. This is definitely not what the movie looks like when I watched it. You know?
No.
I could tell Thunderbird fans weren't fucking with it.
We were pissed, weren't we, Sean?
I could tell.
Dan's just saying.
Kind of like the equivalent of when people saw Gem and the Holograms.
Oh dear.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Keep in mind, folks, I've only had something like just about 3 hours sleep today, so if I'm yawning here and there, it's because
I get it, because I was in and out of sleep after staying late night because of that Saturday night, because I don't have work that night, and I was in and out of sleep, and I didn't wake up until 3 p.m.
Jeez. The thing I find,
hey man, it's what happens when you don't have that much to do. It's chill. I mean, okay, in hindsight, okay, for context, people, I'm moving out from my old house to a new one, so I've been doing a little bit of packing, so there's that.
Sean's just saying, good thing I didn't see that movie. I sadly did. And unsurprisingly, there's no Blu-ray release for it. Thank the good Lord.
I kind of did too.
I mean, the only saving graces of that movie were the ships. Bill Paxton, God rest his soul, he tried. He legitimately
Absolutely.
tried. Sophia Myles as Lady Penelope, if the script had been a little bit more faithful, we would have seen a better take of Lady Penelope. Ben Kingsley, when your performance in Blood Rain was better, dude, what the hell?
Woo! Baby.
And Blood Rain is one of the worst movie adaptations of video games ever, from what I understand.
Yeah.
Including that weird intimacy scene between Rain and her love interest through the bars. I'm like, okay, we're really doing this. Alright. But she's another actress that her career never exactly took off the way she would have preferred, because that was like the second most high profile thing she did after Terminator 3. Now, to her credit, she played her part well in that movie, and the TX in that entire movie didn't blink once. And that's kind of fitting considering she's not meant to be human, so take that as you will. I've said for years, Rise of the Machines, guilty pleasure. It's not as bad as Salvation or Dark Fate. Oh, Dark Fate was just nasty. I mean, you and I thought there was no movie worse than Salvation.
I watched in theaters.
Dan wants me to share a few memes. Oh dear. When the crowd... Hang on. Let's see. Damn. Share that in... Dan's just shared meme saying, when the crowd inserts a "you suck" chant in your theme song. First time? Huh? And of course, to answer Defender, who else was miffed by the ending to Mania 41? Probably about half the internet.
Look, listen. Okay, shot to the belt. Okay, but having it end like that.
Yeah.
I'd have Cody cook out in the last minute, and then after that, he puts him in the STF. Cody tries to fight, and he passes out. He doesn't tap. That's the ending I would have wanted.
Yeah. It was just very... And of course, Cena saying he's going to take the belt home with him after he's done with wrestling. And I'm like, yeah, CM Punk said the same thing in 2011, and look how well that turned out, because he was supposed to be out the door, and then, I think not even 2 weeks later, after Cena won the belt off of a freshly crowned Rey Mysterio, Cult of Personality goes off. We don't know who it is at the time. Then as soon as the Titantron shows up and Punk's there, it's like, because the WWE title would not have stopped with Cena. All the creative would have done is just said, okay, we'll just crown a new WWE champion. Cena gets to keep that belt, but we'll just bring in a new belt. He is having the time of his life playing the heel, and I get it. why they didn't pull the trigger until the beginning of March, because he's no longer the poster child. He's no longer the, you know, he's no longer the golden boy of the company, because that's Cody now. So people saying, oh, it's 10 to 15 years too late. It's like, well, not really. It's at the right time, because he's on and out the door. I can't say how, what kind of legacy his heel run will leave behind when he's done. Whether he will have his last match and he retires as a heel, but he has said that, after the end of December, no amount of money is going to make him come back. It's like, yeah, tell that to Bill Goldberg, Undertaker, and Shawn Michaels. Shawn, we know, came back because, well, when you're offered $10 million for a tag team match, even the most will-powered person would have trouble turning down that kind of money. It's just a shame that we got one of the most awful tag team matches. And here's what people need to remember. When Shawn retired the second time in 2010, he was at the top of his game. But because he had been out of the ring for 9 years at that point, the man was in his 50s and he was missing so many steps. And heck, even Kane should not have been in that match. And that was when... No, because that was 2018, excuse me. Because then Triple H was getting himself back into shape for WrestleMania 35 against Batista. Which, that said, that match 6 years on wasn't awful, but it's definitely not one that people are going to remember fondly. I don't know. Backlash should be interesting, because it's going to be Cena versus Orton, but it's now, I mean, Randy said it the best. We're in this bizarro world now where he's a full-blown face and Cena's a full-blown heel. If somebody had told us this back in 2010, this is what we would be awaiting us 15 years later, we would have said they were nuts. But 2010 was a very different place. Some of it was good. But wrestling-wise, as to how good it was, it depended on who you were. I don't know. Have we got anything else to bring to the table, or shall we call it time here?
Not that I know of. I think we got everything we wanted to say.
Yeah. Alrighty then. Alright, whom shall we rate? Oh, hang on. Guys just said, did you hear about the WrestleMania roast? Apparently it was so bad, WWE is trying to scrabble video footage off the internet. Ouch.
I did hear about that, actually.
Damn.
I didn't really know about there. I didn't really know there was a. You know, I did hear there was a roast, but I didn't care. But I heard it wasn't good.
And of course, Stone Cold's got potential heat from the way he rammed his ATV into the barrier.
I saw that.
Apparently, some people are suggesting.
What can I say? What can I say? LEDs are expensive.
Yes, they are. And some are suggesting, these are their words, not mine, The lady who fell, she seemed to take her time slightly falling down, because she didn't fall straight away when he rammed into the barricade. I don't know. I suppose it just depends on the perspective you're looking at. The fact he was taking ages just to get up the ramp because they had to push the ATV back. Just sounds to me like Stone Cold had been drinking beforehand, and if Stone Cold's had a beer in his hand, you know that's not going to end well. Alright. Think that will probably do it, folks, because as mentioned, I'm literally running on fumes, and also it's very, very muggy this evening. I'm just looking at the weather readout now. Currently it's saying it's 10 centigrade, so if I flip that to Fahrenheit, that's 51 degrees. Also, the humidity is supposed to be a little bit on the up. Actually, it was right at the top there. Humidity is 85%. Thankfully, the atmospheric pressure is at 30.33 inches. That's not too bad. But yeah, when it's this heavy, it's usually where, you know, take your leave and what have you. All right. Okay, I'm not reading that out loud. I'll copy it for Raiden to read to himself.
Okay. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I did hear about that guy. Yeah.
Yeah, that was.
Yeah.
Just no.
Yeah.
Just no.
It's like the equivalent of Bugs Bunny sawing off Florida.
Yeah. Sad thing is, I actually remember that bit as well.
Hey man, it was in the 50s, 60s, or 70s. It was like in the 40s. It was done in the 50s. But it's very funny how apropos it is. Especially hearing all the stories you hear about Florida.
I'll have to take your word for it on that. Okay. Okay, folks. Let me see. Is there anybody worth raiding? Probably the little lemon bun.
Yeah, she is. Yeah, she is. Does a lot on Sundays.
The lemon bun. Okay, folks. Until next week, when we're back at the time of 9 p.m. UK, 4 p.m. Eastern, and 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Hopefully we'll have Sir Stephen back with us. I'm going to try and tempt Win the Rogue to come back for the season finale, but I make no promises. If she shows up, she shows up. If not, it's all good. But thank you.
I'd be lucky to have her again.
Yes, it would. It would be awesome. Thank you for tuning in tonight for a much more laid-back and unplanned version of SKL. It seems as though the technical difficulties have rectified themselves this week, so yeah. So, until next week, good night from the night.
This is y'all.